Hello, namaste. Thanks for joining me live, Irene and Kelly. I hope it's going to be a happy new year, but who knows? So let's begin. I did this class a couple of days ago, so I hope I haven't forgotten it. I might forget a few things. You can shout at me through the cyber wall, Irene. So let's come into Baddha Konasana to begin, or you can do constructive rest. You know how to do that with your feet flat on your mat. If you need to support yourself, you can. You can pop a pillow under your head. Do whatever you need to do throughout the class, throughout the practice, to make yourself more comfortable. Listen out for easy variations, especially if you haven't practiced for a while. Kelly, you said you hadn't done any yoga for 5 weeks. So I'm really hot in my room. I've got the fan on, but yeah, it might be a bit uncomfortable. I don't know where you are, but just see how you go. So let's start by relaxing and checking in. So notice how your body is feeling and notice what's going on for you in the present moment. As I said, it's very warm and humid in the room I'm in. I don't mind it too much. But we'll see how that pans out. So just make a little mental note of any injuries that you have, whether they're chronic and ongoing or something new and exciting, any special conditions, and how you're feeling generally. Make a resolve to only do the thing that feels the most appropriate and the most relevant for the particular moment and how your body is feeling in that particular moment. You can start doing some slightly longer inhalation breaths. We're not too worried about the exhalation. That's going to be very passive and natural. But the inhalation, we're going to exaggerate a little bit. And what I would like you to do is just very gently push down, very subtly. I'm not asking you to bear down. Just very subtly push down on the pelvic floor before you inhale, and then just feel the breath beginning in the lower belly, the majority of air across the main part of the belly, a little bit into the lower chest, tiny bit more into the collarbone area, and then you just relax. You just allow your body to soften into the space that it's inhabiting. And I don't know about you, but as soon as I get to about the second one of those, I feel a bit of a gurgle in my tummy, and that's a good sign, because that tells me that everything is starting to move and I'm starting to relax on the inside. And sometimes all it takes is just that kind of giving yourself permission to be soft, to be still, and to relax. And this doesn't have to change when you go through the practice. You're allowed to do something reasonably intense and dynamic and do it in a way where you feel relaxed and focused and zen on the inside. Complete the exhalation round that you're on and bring your knees together. If they're not together already, let's press the toes, the heels, and the soles of the feet quite firmly into the mat. So we're really getting a sense of the texture of the mat beneath the soles of the feet. Lift the pubic bone slightly, bring the chin in, and if it's more comfortable for your back, bring one knee at a time towards your armpit. So toes close, knees wide, and again just relax in that position, softening the spine and the ribs, and then holding onto your shins. Bring your knees a little bit closer to your armpits, and then create some resistance by pushing the shins into the palms and the palms into the shins, and relax, and that might feel a little bit easier. So fish pose, Matsyasana variation, broaden across the upper back. Press the shoulder blades down, bring your chin in and relax the belly, and then expand the tummy on the inhalation. So feel as if you're lifting your belly, your chest, your collarbone as if towards the ceiling. So the front of the body is big and expansive, and the middle of the spine moves away from your mat. A little bit of a back arch and relax. Allow the back of the body to gently sink back down. Bring the arms in between the thighs and push the arms into the inner thighs and the inner thighs back into the arms. And then take your palms to the outer knees and push the outer knees into the palms and the palms into the outer knees. And then relax. Bring the knees together, pop the arms down by the side and give your hips a little bit of a wiggle from the left to the right side. Just checking in and noticing how the lower part of your spine is feeling. And you can continue with this, otherwise you might like to change the movement and instead feel as if you're making a little bit of a circle with the four corners of your lower back. And then we'll take that back opposite direction. So first part of the practice is a warm-up on the floor, quite significant. Hopefully it contributes towards getting a fair bit of release in the hips and the hamstrings and the lower back before we do some of the stronger vinyasas. And give it a little bit of a wiggle. Anchor your left foot, gripping with the toes, bringing the thigh towards the chest. And what we're going to do now is some circles with the right knee. So right knee to the left, straighten the leg a little bit, and then right knee out to the right. So when we do this exercise, we're essentially taking the hip and the groin area from internal to external rotation. So what you don't really want to feel, because it doesn't feel nice, is a clunkety clunk. If you are feeling that, you just make these circles like tiny little micro movements. And let's take it back opposite direction. And finishing off, bringing your right thigh nice and close to the chest, and then taking your right leg straight. So it's about 10 centimeters off the mat. We're going to do some ankle rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and one-legged bicycles. Opposite direction. And we're going to take this right leg into a happy baby position. So what that means is we're going to imagine that we're trying to touch the right armpit with the right knee, and we're balancing something on the sole of the right foot. You can press the other foot into the mat, but try and relax your belly, relax your face. And now we're going to draw imaginary circles with the ball of the right foot. So we're going in a clockwise direction to begin with. And again, if it doesn't feel comfortable to do bigger circles, do tiny circles. Bend what you need to bend. Now we're going to take the right leg over to the left side for a crisscross, and you're either going to stay like that or you take your left leg to the right side a bit harder. Stretch your fingertips towards the bottom of the mat, and if you want to, leave your head on the floor. Otherwise, expanding the tummy on the inhale, bring your chin towards your throat and peel the upper body off the mat. And we're going to do 40 of these. Are you ready? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Relax. Coming back down now. We are doing circles in a clockwise direction. Did we do that before? I'm confused. I never can remember my anti-clockwise or my clockwise. All right, now we're going to go into a pigeon pose, an upside down one. So pushing into the ball of the foot, bend the right knee, and you want to imagine now you're trying to get your right heel to touch your left ear and your right knee to the lower right hand corner of your mat. If it's enough, stay there. I'd stay there if my knee was sore, because the next exercise could hurt your knee. Otherwise, you're bringing the left foot off the floor, push the ankle into the thigh, thigh back into the ankle, create some resistance, and then we're going to do some wiggly things from left to right. And from here, hugging the right thigh to the chest. You can either flatten your left leg to the floor if that's not comfy, pop your left foot on the floor instead. And we're going to create some resistance and turn it into something that resembles the fish pose by pressing shoulder blades down, lifting the belly, the chest and the collarbone up towards the ceiling. So again, the middle spine moves away from the mat, and then relax. Take your fingertips to the bottom of the mat. Stay here or expand the tummy on the inhalation, chin to the chest, peel the upper body off the mat, maybe bring your left leg off the floor if you can. Keep breathing into the belly because the sides of the belly should be nice and soft. And then swap over, right leg straight, left thigh to the chest. We're going to come into the banana stretch from here. So lying down, take your right leg to the left, squeeze the left thigh as close as you can to the side ribs and press the right buttock down. So if there's a problem with the shoulder, just leave the right arm where it is. Otherwise, across the body, lengthen into the fingers, possibly looking towards the right armpit. So what I'm going to do is press my right heel, my right buttock into the mat and lengthen into the fingertips. And then I want to feel like this left leg is trying to escape. So I'm pushing the shin into the palm and the palm back into the shin. It's like I'm trying to do that and I'm trying to do that at the same time. So breathe into the right side of the belly, and that should feel like a nice way to release tension in the hip flexor. Bring your right arm down, carefully turn your head, slowly bring your right thigh back in. Give it a bit of a wiggle. We're going to do all that on the second side. So anchor your right foot, push into the ball of the left foot, little circle, so knee goes right, slightly straight and out to the left. Relax what you can relax. You can make those circles smaller and slower, do whatever you need to do. Let's go back, opposite direction. And let's bring the left thigh nice and close to the chest. Take the left leg straight, about 10 centimeters off the mat. Push into the ball of the left foot. We're going to do ankle rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We'll do one-legged bicycles. So this kind of, small practice or sequence at the beginning of the class you could do every morning or every day if you didn't have time. Oh, sorry, I'm going in the opposite direction now. I didn't tell you, did I? If you didn't have time to do the full practice. All right, so we're going to go into that happy baby position. So that means I want to imagine that I'm trying to get my left knee to touch my left armpit and that I'm balancing something on the sole of my left foot. So relax the belly. This is just going to prep me for the next exercise. So if you haven't noticed, most of the exercises we do are to prep us for the one after. Okay, it helps to make them feel a bit easier. So we're going to do circles. We're beginning in an anti-clockwise direction this time. Try not to tense the throat because that can happen habitually. And also you don't want your chin migrating up. So chin in if you possibly can. Now we're going to finish off by going into the crisscross again. So left leg's on the right, and that's fine. You can hang out there, or right leg to the left, fingertips to the bottom of the mat. Leave your head on the floor if that's preferable, or expand the tummy on the inhale, chin to chest, peel the upper body off the mat. Let's do 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Relax, coming down. And now our circles will be clockwise. I'm wondering if I made a mistake last time. I can't remember. Irene, you can tell me. Okay, so from here into an upside down pigeon position. So push into the ball of the left foot, bend the left leg, and imagine, it's hard, isn't it, that you're going to touch your right ear with your left heel and your left knee to the lower left-hand corner of your mat. Now that would be a very flexible hip, which most of us don't have. So if you do have a sore knee, I wouldn't do the next one because that's associated with your stiff hip. Otherwise, right foot off the floor, push the ankle into the thigh, push the thigh back into the ankle so you're creating that resistance. Try and relax, relax. And then we're going to do the wiggly thing from left to right. One good thing about the humidity, you do feel a little bit more flexible maybe, but don't get too complacent and overstretch either. So next exercise, you can either straighten the right leg or pop the right foot on the floor if that feels better. Interlink your hands around the left shin, and we're going to create resistance and turn it into something that resembles the fish pose by pressing the shoulder blades down, pushing the shin into the palm, palm into the shin, but feeling as if we're trying to lift the front of the body up towards the ceiling. So the middle of the spine goes into a bit of an arch. Relax. Allow the back of the body to sink back down. Those dogs are so annoying. It's one of them, my new one. She decides that she's got to bark at everyone and the other one joins in. Take your fingertips to the bottom of the mat, and if you need to, stay here. Otherwise, expand the tummy on the in-breath, chin to chest, peel the upper body off the mat. Maybe lift your right leg off the floor if you can. Now, when you're breathing into the belly, I don't know if you can see that, but see it's really soft. People find that difficult. There's something to work on. Swap it over. Banana stretch. We're bananaing to the right side, so take your left leg straight, press your right glute down, try and squeeze the right thigh to the side ribs. Leave this left arm where it is, but if your shoulder is fine, across the body and up. Lengthen into the fingers and possibly look towards the left armpit. All right, so I'm pressing my heel, my left glute, and pushing the shin, the right shin into the right palm, resisting back, and trying to gently lengthen into the fingers, breathing into the side body, just so that you can feel, hopefully, a little bit of that chronic tension in the hip flexor start to release, maybe. So it's about here. You should be able to feel that. And bringing your left arm down, turning your head, bringing your left thigh to your chest. Next exercise. If you're very stiff in your shoulders, you can bring your arms out to the side. Otherwise, interlink your hands behind your head. And if you find it hard to do the bum shuffle with your thighs close to your chest, just pop your feet on the floor. So the bum shuffle goes to the left first. Squeeze your thighs to your belly and see if you can imagine taking your knees towards your right armpit, but don't let them drop. Press the elbows and the left shoulder particularly into the mat, back to the center. So bum right, thighs to the chest or the belly, and knees towards the left armpit. Don't let them drop like that. Okay, we want the elbows pressing down and particularly that right shoulder because it wants to leave the mat. Let's do one more each side. So back to the center, bum left, knees right, back to the center, bottom right, and knees left. Back to the center. Pop your feet on the mat. Now this next exercise, it's not really too challenging. It's just to help to release the neck. So what we want to do is take the arch out of the back. So that means we lift the pubic bone, chin down. And maybe your arms can't be straight because it's a little bit tight. And that's okay. My arms won't be straight. So you softly bring the right arm up, look to the left, press the left side of the head down, bring the right arm down, swap it over, left arm up softly, look to right, press slightly down with the right side of your head. Not with your right head, with the right side of your head. Bring the left arm down, one more each side. So right arm up, looking to left, little press. Right arm down, last one. Left arm up, looking to right. Back to the center. Similar, but slightly different. We're not turning the head for this one. Lift the pubic bone, press the feet into the mat, and slowly, gently start to lift the front of your hips up towards the ceiling. Now I like to find that spot in the middle of my upper back that tends to be the bit that sticks out the most or ache if I'm sitting for a long time at the computer, and then you can get a little bit of a massage happening. So we're just lifting arms this time, we're not turning the head, all right? So when you're ready, right arm up, lengthen into the fingers, right arm down, left arm up, left arm down, one more each side, right arm up, right arm down, last one, left arm up, left arm down. Now when we come down, let's really be aware of the spine. Keep the pubic bone moving as if towards your chin, and imagine if you can that your spine is like a set of escalator. So it's moving stair by stair. So imagine each stair is like each vertebral joint. And we want those joints moving separately, not in a clump. So ideally your tailbone is going to touch the mat before your sitting bones. And then relax. Last little sit up before we come up. Bring the thighs towards your chest. Soles of the feet towards the ceiling, fingertips to the bottom of the mat. Now that's enough maybe, or expand the tummy on the inhale, chin to chest, peel the upper body off the mat. lifting the tailbone, breathing into the belly. Now, not everyone it feels comfortable coming up from the floor, and neither should you if you don't feel good in your back or anything else. So maybe lie down, roll to the right side, come to sitting and then standing in your own time, as slowly as you need to. Otherwise, if you feel confident, you can roll up to sitting. Some of you might be able to come up to standing. Next part of the sequence is the standing flowy bit. So have your feet about hip width apart, bend the knees, and these little bony bits at the front of the hips, you can put your hands on them. What I want you to do is take them backwards. So see how they're going forwards? I want us to go that way. Take them back and push the sitting bones towards the heels. Bit of a strange position. Don't walk down the street like this. Elbows to the ceiling, armpits to the floor. Now we don't want this either. So chin in, extend out through the crown of your head. Stretch, or imagine you're stretching the mat apart with your feet. Tilt forward slightly so your toes grip the mat, but then relax the belly, relax the face. So we want the movements to be nice and soft. Just follow as best you can. It's like a swim stroke. You can continue like that if you don't want to go anywhere near the floor, but I'm going to add on. Two more. Last one, we're going to go off to one side for two. Center, two. Other side, two. Center. Other side. Center. Last two. Then we change momentum a little bit. It's like the sumo. Are you ready? Two. Center. And two. Sometimes this is easier than others. Not so easy today. Last two. That's it. Like a hug. Bit of a twist. Two more. Last one. Back to the beginning. and then twist. This is the last one. We're going to go back to the beginning. And 5. Last one. Like a hug. Twisting. Interlink if you can. Stay on flat feet or come up. Bend a little bit, that's much safer for dodgy knees. But if your knees are perfect, you could come down. A little bit of a forward bend or a deep forward bend if you can. Next exercise, the easiest variation is where you press your palms into your calves harder. Take your hands through, cross them at the wrists. Grab left shin with right hand, right shin with left hand. Look slightly forward of your toes and feel like you're trying to scoop your sitting bones towards the front of the mat. Gently bring your armpits as if towards the back of your mat. You need to bend your knees a little bit, obviously, or more. Relax. Drop your shoulders. Think about how you're going to come up. Drop the tailbone. And as you start to lift, bend the knees, push the sitting bones towards the heels. Feel the pubic bone lifting as if towards the chin, so that when your arms go up, your bum doesn't stick out. When you're ready, like a swim. Left leg back. 4. Last one. Easy, harder, challenging. And warrior 3 variation. Simple, harder, challenging. You're going to balance on that left foot again with a straight leg this time. Simple, harder, challenging. Half moon position. Go straight into it if you can, or follow me. Easy, harder, challenging. Go straight into warrior 3 if you want to, or follow me. Simple, harder, challenging. Go straight into twisting half moon or follow me. Simple, harder, challenging. Back into warrior 3. Go straight into the balance if you want or follow. Go straight into the last twist if you know what it is, or follow me. Simple, harder, challenging. Like the Karate Kid. 1 step forward. Thigh to chest, foot to floor. Just hang out there a second. I'll straighten my mat or follow. Second side when you're ready. This is the right leg going back. 1, 2, 3. This is the last one. Simple, harder, challenging. Warrior 3. Simple, harder, challenging. I'm going to balance on that right foot again, this time with a straight leg. So lean back, simple, harder, challenging. Forgot to say out to the side, didn't I? Half moon, go straight into it or follow me. Lift the pubic bone, belly to the back of the mat, simple, harder, challenging. Warrior 3, go straight into it or follow me. Twisting half moon, straight into it or follow me. Warrior 3. Last twist, you can follow me or go straight into it. Karate Kid. One step forward. Energy balling, are you ready? We're starting to the left for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Simple, hard. Left toe tip to the corner, push the sitting bone forward, reach the right fingertips into the left hand corner and feel as if your pubic bone is moving to your right foot. So that's simple, harder. Challenging, super challenging, you can take that foot down to the floor anytime you want, is Marichyasana, standing version. Alright, looks a bit like that maybe, possibly like that. Some of you can join hands. Lovely. Now you can leave your left foot in the air, that is not very popular, or you can take it back to the floor. And we're going to do 1, slow it down this time, we're just going to do 4, 2, 3, and then last one, this is 4, so your left arm should be up, left leg back. We're going into side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. So I just want you to have a look. Your bum often wants to do that, doesn't it? I want you to take that right sitting bone, push it forward, squeeze that right heel over to the left side, bring your ribs in, and take your left arm over there into the left-hand corner. For those of you who want to work harder, you resist gravity by doing what I'm doing. Because weight bearing is all about resisting gravity, isn't it? Even if you're lifting a weight or not, this is my body weight that I'm resisting. Because my body wants to do that. True? And warrior 2. Keep squeezing the front heel as if to the left side. Feel as if you're moving your navel to the back of your mat. Let's go into the lunge. You can bend that back leg. You can bring the back leg a little bit closer if you want to. Lift the pubic bone. Gently engage your left glute. Just make it a little bit firmer. Push the front sitting bone forward. Breathe into the belly. And then when you're ready to inhale next, leaning forward, relax your left glute and bring either left toe tip to the floor or thigh to the chest. Pop your foot down. Second side to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Simple. Harder. Right toe tip in the corner. Push that right sitting bone forward. Left fingertips into the right hand corner. And imagine your pubic bone pushing to your left foot. So that's quite powerful. You can lift slightly or higher. This is really good for your core muscles, by the way. If you feel on the right side, you'll go, oh yeah, that's pretty powerful. Now you can take that right leg to the floor, or you roll that left shoulder in, try Marichyasana. So it might just look something like that, but some of you can join hands. It's like Bikram in this room, I can tell you that. Now if you want to, leave your right leg in the air, very hard, or right toe tip to the floor. Okay, so we're doing 4 slow energy balls. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we want that right arm up. We're going into side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Now as I come down, I'll show you on this side, your bum sometimes wants to do that. I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is this left sitting bone, you can use your hand like I am if you want to really make it clear. You push it forward to that left sitting bone, to that left heel, beg your pardon. Squeeze the left heel over to the right side. Ribs are in, and that right arm goes into the corner. So even if your left arm is on the thigh, you're not collapsing because we're resisting gravity. If you like to work harder, come down, but don't let anything touch the floor. I mean, you can touch the floor, but it's decoration, yeah? And warrior 2. Belly button to the back of the mat. Lengthen between the fingers. Tailbone to the back heel. Front sitting bone to the front heel. into the lunge. Now if you wanted to, you can bring that back foot a little bit closer if it feels like it's a long way away. Bend the back leg, lift the pubic bone, lengthen into the fingers. Gently engage your right glute, that's the back leg. And when you're ready to come out of the pose, breathe in, lean forward, and easier, harder, challenging. Pop the foot down, very good. Next one, whew, I've got a shiny little swim. Take your left leg back, lean back, lift the pubic bone. Simple, harder, challenging. Relax. See, this is weight bearing as well because I am working against gravity. Pop your right foot down. Warrior 3. Simple, harder, challenging. So we're going to take our left foot to the floor, and again I want to push my front sitting bone forward, tailbone back, lift the pubic bone to come up. Follow me. Easier, harder, challenging. Stretch the mat apart with your feet. Trikonasana, same thing as before. We're going to bring the left arm forward. We don't want to stick the ribs out, so ribs need to stay in. Now we can take the fingers to the floor, hold the ankle, we can come up a little bit, we can just leave that arm in midair, which means we have to work harder, and you'll see these core muscles are having to work. So you're resisting gravity. Back into the forward bend. So we're bending the front knee a little bit, leaning forward. That's easier, harder, challenging. Karate Kid position. And pop your foot down. So far, so good. I don't think I've forgotten anything, have I, Irene? When you're ready, take the right leg back. Lift the pubic bone. So you're leaning back like this. Arms forward, little lift. Harder, challenging. Just want to remind you that when your bum is sticking out, it really is hard on your hamstrings. Much harder to lift your leg. Okay, still hard to lift your leg, but much easier if you're leaning back. Warrior 3. Simple, harder, challenging. Let's take that right foot to the mat. All right, so tailbone is back, left sitting bone is forward. Lift from the pubic bone. Trikonasana. Hold on to something if you want, or just take your fingers to the floor, even a block. Right arm forward or into the corner is good. Over there into the corner. Ribs are in, not sticking out. And you're not collapsing like this. You're resisting gravity. That's weight bearing. You don't need any special equipment, just your body. And back into the forward bend, bending the front leg. You're on the ball of the back foot. Leave your toe tip on the floor or lift slightly or higher. And toe tip to the floor or thigh towards the chest. Lovely. Okay, last vinyasa. Take it easy. Left leg back. So 1, 2, 3, and warrior 3. Now we're going to go into the lunge. You can slide that left foot back if your balance isn't great. Mine's not so great on the carpet, but it's getting a little bit better with practice. So you see what's happening here? Now I want to round out my back like that. There's the energy ball. I'm going to take it over there to the right side. Breathe into the belly, turn the belly up, okay? Now if you wanted to, you can take left fingertips to the floor, drop the back knee. Otherwise, palms together, push the upper left arm into the right thigh and resist backwards. Or resist back, I should say. And then back into that position where you're holding onto the energy ball, left arm is higher. Cuddle, imaginary one of course. Back into YogaSphere, elbows back. So we're going to do the coffee thing. So here's your coffee, or could be a cocktail, over there, and don't spill. Take your coffee to the left and don't spill it. One more each side. And energy balling for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one gets us to the front of the mat. Simple, harder, challenging. We're going into the eagle pose, all right? So just adjust your right foot. That's an easier version. That's a harder version. That's the full version. And same with your leg. You can keep your foot where it is or do something like this. You can work your way into, whoops, a daisy, a fuller, deeper version if it's possible. And like the Karate Kid, to come out if possible. Second side, when you're ready, like a swim. Right leg back. 1, 2, 3, and warrior 3. Into the lunge if possible. Do what you need to do. Now here, what I want to do is lift the pubic bone. There's the energy ball. Turn to the left with the energy ball. Breathe into the belly. There's the pose. Now I can take my right hand to the floor, drop the back knee, or try something like this. But I still don't want to sink. I'm always resisting gravity and trying to distribute the weight throughout my whole body. In other words, I'm not here leaning forward. I'm pushing into the back foot as well. Hope that makes sense. And here's the energy ball. Little bit of a cuddle. YogaSphere. To the left with the cocktail. To the right. To the left. To the right. And energy ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go straight into it if you want to. Into the crisscross, adjust the front foot so the toes are forward. Simple, harder, challenging, and same with the leg. It can stay there, or you can do something like that, or you can work your way into the harder variation. And untangle. We're going to go into the last YogaSphere. Either side of your mat. Come up if you want to. Interlink the hands, bring the palms up. And like me, and follow if you want to. All the way down if you can. Fingers to the floor if you can. Adjust your feet so slightly pigeon-toed. Now if you can't get your hands on the floor, you've no desire to do that, don't do it. Something like this, or use a block or a chair even, okay? So when we come into this position, even if you're very flexible, it can be helpful to keep your knees a little bit bent. Some of you can bring your hands to the floor, but maybe it's better with your hands forward and looking forward, because some people get that pressure in their head. Otherwise, if all is well, go deeper into the pose. So I'm pushing into the outer feet. I've got my knees a little bit bent, and I want to try and imagine I'm trying to get my feet back into YogaSphere position. And then, if possible, you let your head relax. So it actually feels a little bit like an apple on a tree, and the weight of your head will help to gently traction the upper part of your spine maybe. Let's try a twist. So walk the hands forward if they're not already. Again, you can use a block. Pop the right hand on the belly, expand out through the upper back, so in other words, round out the back. Keep looking at the left hand, right? So you're not just moving from your head. So as you breathe in, turn the belly to the right side. Bring the right arm up, but without doing that, okay? And now use your left hand just to twist the navel more to the right side. Lovely, swap over. Let's try again. Left hand on the belly, should be soft and squidgy, round out the back. Breathing in, navel, not head to the left, left arm out rather than stretching back like that. Think about how you're moving. Now we're going to just gently use that right hand to twist deeper to the left. And left hand down. Now, we're going to go into a cat pose. You can come into a cat pose, or you can spring into a cat pose if you like. I'm going to come back this way. Oh my goodness, it is very, very hot. So round out your back, come up onto the shins if you can. Take the arms back. Stretch into your fingers, roll the shoulders in. Squeeze the hands into a fist. So remember this one? This is the weird meerkat position. Here they are. So we don't want the chin forward, we want the chin in and the back of the neck pushing towards the wall or imaginary wall or whatever it is behind you. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for this one and be really conscious of what's going on in your neck, to listen and to always move slowly. Alright, so check your tummy is breathing, because tight belly often leads to or has a direct impact on your neck and vice versa. So chin in, drop the chin slightly, breathe into the belly and super slowly turn your head to the right side so that your chin is close to your shoulder, and then lift your chin, and behind your closed eyes, can you imagine you're trying to stare deep within your right ear? So stretch your gaze and then relax your eyes. Make sure the chin is down, slowly back to the center. Second side, breathe into the belly, chin down, turn to the left, lift the chin, stretch your closed eyes, the gaze, towards your left ear. Good for your eyes if you look at the screen a lot, don't we all? Relax, back to center. Can we do one more each side? So back to the center, slow. Breathing in, to the right, lift, stretch the eyes, slow, be careful. Relax, slowly back to the center. Last one, relax the belly, breathing in, to the left, lift, gaze towards the left ear, and drop back. Open your hands a few times, give them a shake, take the arms back, chin in, arms up, I should say shoulders in, arms up. Stretch your fingers, grab the mat, press the fingers down, but lift up the palms, and we're just going to go to the little fingers for exaggerate the press, and the ring finger, then the middle finger, and the index finger. Do it again. And we're going to stretch out the thumbs. So you can imagine maybe that if you take your thumbs close to the outer edges of your mat, your thumb and your index fingers are doing the splits. So what you're going to do is try and get that fleshy bit down towards the mat, but pull your thumbs to the outer edge of the mat. So it's almost like you're being thumb printed, which I'm sure a few of you know about. Alright, now if I just roll to the inner thumb, that feels, and then I roll to the outer thumb, that gives a bit of an interesting sensation. That's nice. Now the next one is where we're going to take, we might do two at the same, we usually do one at a time, but I think we'll save time, we'll do two at the same time. So either your fingers can face your knees, or if you have a little bit more flexibility, see mine are facing each other. Alright, now that can be hard, and I'm not asking you to lean into your wrists, okay? Keep your body weight, neutral, so you're not sinking all the time. This is a problem. Alright, don't give in to gravity. Lift up, away from the floor. Now look at these inner elbows. Let's try and roll them towards each other, if possible. Some of you will be able to lean back, but maybe not everyone, because you'll go, that's more than enough for the first time I do this exercise. And I don't want you to hurt your wrists. Relax, give it a shake, and hopefully that feels a little bit better. With your hands on the floor now. So round out your back, little breath in. I'm going right, but you can easily go left if you want to. Left arm under, head on the floor, chin in. Press that right palm down and feel like you're trying to pull your left shoulder back to the opposite side. You could bring your palms together, which looks like this. We can take your right arm up. We can just stay exactly where you were, and if you were happy there. Back to the first position. Little breath in, second side. Right arm under maybe, or left if you're doing the other side. Press the left palm down, pull the right shoulder as if to the other side. Maybe your hands are in prayer, maybe you lift your left arm up. And back. Alright. Chaturanga. If you don't like it, don't do it. Lie on your tummy now. Otherwise, stay in cat pose to make it a little bit easier. Come into plank if you can. Be careful for your wrists. So what I'm doing is spreading my hands, grabbing the mat a little bit, and then bottom bones forward, looking forward, shoulders over the wrist, breathing in, elbows in. And then when you come down, ideally, your chest is going to touch the floor before your belly, and you're going to do it with form. I can't see you, but I know there's lots of form going on out there. So roll your thighs in. This is Shalabhasana, simple version. So elbows forward, hands in fists. Pull the elbows towards the hips, press the navel down, and feel like you're trying to lift your sternum, which is your breastbone, towards the ceiling. Okay, and remember before when I was saying at the beginning, imagine you're trying to massage that stiff bit in the middle of the upper back. Can you imagine that you're trying to arch that bit? Obviously it's not going to arch, but just imagine that is what you're trying to do. You get a little bit of space in there. And relax. Okay, next exercise, we're stretching out the forearms. I hope it's not complicated if you haven't done this one before or for a while. I'm going to roll onto my right hip, take my left knee out to the side, push the tailbone down, grab the mat on the left side with the left hand, and this right arm, I'm going to roll the shoulder in. So if I have a look at my thumb, it's on the right side. Now if you haven't done this exercise before and your shoulders are really tight, I'd say out to the side, but as you get better at it, closer to midnight, I'm somewhere in the middle. So you make the arm long, push the arm down, use your left hand as if to lift the chest, and then if you want something even more uncomfortable and horrible, you take your hands into a claw or a fist, and that gives you a little bit of a nerve sensation as well, which, I don't know, you may enjoy if you're a bit of a, what's the word? I was going to say narcissist, but that's the wrong word, isn't it? Masochist, that's the word I'm looking for. Now you could do that maybe, but it may not feel nice if your arm already feels like it's about to fall off. So no overstretching, please. Back to the first position, and if you did it properly, your shoulder should feel nicer than the other one. So do the other side. So right knee out, tailbone down, grab the mat. Left arm, we're going to roll the shoulder in. So if I have a look, my thumb is on the left side. All right, so you make the arm long, press the arm down, use the right hand as if you're trying to lift the chest, and you could take that hand into a fist or a claw. You could take that right leg back. It could look something like that. And if it feels easy, you move that arm more to the midnight. For some reason, the arm feels easier. Probably because I've been vacuuming. And back to the first position. All right. Dhanurasana. Not for everybody, but I'll take you through easier stages and you can stay with those if you like. All right. So let's just start by either keeping the chin in or head on the floor if you want to. I'm not going to do that because I'll be mumbling, but you can if you want to. Arms out to the side with your fingers on the floor, toes out to the sides of the mat. All right, now if you do this version, you can feel all your muscles are working, but it's not really going to hurt anything, okay? Go further than that if you want to by dropping the knees, bringing the feet to the bottom, taking the arms off the floor, keeping the chin in but lifting your chest maybe. Now you can see I've got long arms. If you've got long arms like me, you can hold on to your feet. Inside is good for me, but you can do it that way if you want to. And we're going to do it with resistance because resistance is always really useful. So what I want to imagine is that my feet are trying to get back to the floor, but I'm trying to pull my feet to the bum. Make sense? So I'm trying to bring my feet closer, but my feet are trying to get back to the floor. And that gives me a nice big stretch at the front of the body, which is basically what the pose is for. It's not for overarching your back. So you can see I've got my thighs on the floor. For most people that's going to be better because a lot of people have niggles in their lower back. If you don't have any issues at all, play around with it. You can take the soles of your feet to the forehead if you want to. Do fancy things with your arms. I can't do that. Relax. Drop the thighs. Drop the head. Check it. If you want to do another one, do another one. So we're going to go from here into kneeling, stretching forward. This is important, this next exercise, because we're going to do the worm. We're doing the easy version of the worm that everyone can do. So with your forearms on the floor in a similar position to mine, move your shoulders away from your ears. So we're not hunching here, shoulders down. Keep the chin in, so you need to listen. Keep your chin in, visualize your pubic bone moving towards your chin. So pubic bone towards your chin, and you'll feel yourself going into a sort of forearm plank with your knees on the floor, and that's what I want you to do. And then we take the knees wide, toes touching. Pop the bottom on the heels. And you can leave your forearms where they are here if your shoulders and your arms are a problem. If they're not a problem, use your arms to lengthen your spine. So in other words, you're trying to get your shoulders to touch your ears. Spread your fingers and press your hands into the floor the same way that you did when you were stretching out your hands before and you were more aware of your hands. Bring your chin to your throat, and as the armpits push down, feel like you're lifting the back of your body up towards the ceiling. And you want to feel like you get an immense kind of sense of space between your vertebra. So let's go back to gravity again. What's gravity doing? Every day we walk around and essentially we're kind of getting crushed. So what's yoga doing? Well, it's just kind of alleviating some of the issues associated with, what gravity causes. We're trying to create space between our joints. We're trying to make sure our muscles are strong enough so that we are protected and supported. Now, you can stay here or you pop your forearms on the floor. Spread the fingers, lift your bum, bring your knees together. Now, again, we don't want to hunch. This isn't the pose, bum sticking up. That's definitely not the pose. What we do is we push the bum bones quite in an exaggerated way towards the elbows. You see that? Right, really round out. And then I want to imagine that I'm trying to do this with my elbows. So it's like I'm stretching them out apart with my forearms, I should say. So bum bones forward, stretch the space between the forearms, and you'll feel that in your belly. You also feel a bit of a stretch in your shoulders, and it's enough. But for those of you who like to do the ninja version, do it with me, but notice that I don't keep my head in the same position. I'm going to take my head back towards my knees first, come up onto the balls of the feet, and then come into the dolphin pose. And I'm lifting away from the floor because, again, I'm resisting gravity. And even though it might be harder in the beginning, because you're changing a habit more than anything, if you're used to sinking and you have never thought about, using resistance or using your own body for resistance or weight bearing, it's much easier. Okay, you lift your body weight away from the floor and you can push some of it into your toes. All right, relax, kneel and stretch forward again. Now we're going to try a down dog sequence, and I'll remind you that you can do all these exercises that we're going to do in down dog in a cat pose. And instead of lifting your leg in down dog, you lift your leg in cat pose, and then you come into a pose. Instead of the half plank, you come into a pose called Parigasana, which I will demonstrate. And Vashisthasana is the hard version, that's the half plank. Parigasana, the side stretch, is easier. I'll demonstrate all these, okay? But know that you can do the down dog as a cat pose, all right? Otherwise, follow me. So we're going into down dog, possibly armpits down, chin to the throat, soft in the elbows, but use your hands. And again, I don't want to be doing this. That's a habit. You can lift if you want to, just to make sure that you've remembered you can use the whole of your hands, including your fingers. All right, now you may not have your heels on the floor. That's okay. You can bend your knees, do what you need to do. If possible, shift your weight to the left foot, lift the right leg. Remember, you can do this in a cat pose, okay? So what I'm going to do is come into Vashisthasana, possibly. All right, actually I usually go the other way, don't I? But anyway, so we're going to take that left hand, go onto the little toe side of the right foot, and I'm just going to show you what this looks like if it's the easy version. That's the easy version. All right, otherwise we've got Vashisthasana. You can also take your foot back if you want. Back into the down dog. I do usually go the other way. You are correct, Irene. All right, second side. So from a cat pose or a down dog, lift the left leg if possible. Don't feel obligated. And either we're going to go into Parigasana or Vashisthasana. So Vashisthasana, right palm forward, little toe side of the right foot looks a little bit like that. Easier version looks like that. So again, I'm not down here going, oh, that's so hard. You have to lift up and push your way into the toes. And also, I'm pushing this right armpit to the left side. That makes it easy. I'm not having a good time if I'm here, am I? That's horrible. Just so you know. It's technique. It's not, anything else. All right. So we're going to come into sitting. Drop your knees. Follow me or come into sitting your way. Now we're going to try, actually I'm going to do it this way. We're going to do Baddha Konasana so that we're prepped for the last part of the practice. All right, but we're going to prep for Baddha Konasana first because we prep for everything, right? So come onto your forearms, shoulders down, right leg straight. Lift the right leg up and just take it out to the side as far as you can comfortably. All right, bend it if you want to, don't overstretch. Relax, again. Out to the left. Bend it if you need to. Don't feel obligated to do this next pose. You can lie on the floor, otherwise soles of your feet together, arms behind, lift the chest, push the sternum, or lift the sternum I should say, and push the chest forward. And I'm hoping that you feel it's not maybe as hard as it would usually feel, and you've got a little bit of space in the groin. Because this is the essence of the last part of the practice, is to make sure we've got a bit more space in the pelvis, because it gets a little bit crushed in there. Okay, I'm just going to move that out a tiny bit because otherwise I'll hit the window. All right, so coming down, nearly there. So anchor the left foot, right leg straight, 10 centimeters off the floor. Slowly bring the right leg up, and we're going to, do circles with the right leg. Now we did this in the beginning. I'm hoping it feels easier now. Now what we're going to do is go into a happy baby. So what I'm going to get you to do is bend that right leg like we did before. Now that could be your pose, and I'm going to give you some add-ons. So first add-on is hug your left thigh to the side ribs. Now maybe you hold on to your calf, your ankle, or the outside of the right foot, depending on your length of your arms and your flexibility. But what we do is create resistance. You feel like you're trying to get your thigh to the floor, but your foot's trying to make its way to the ceiling. So this bicep muscle is working. Right elbow forward, and we want this right armpit firm, and that's going to help soften up the scaly muscles. So those are the neck muscles on the side that get really tight. Okay, so let's give it 100%. This is not effort, it's focus. And then I just want you to relax and release about 98% of everything you just gave it. So you're just left with that tiny, very subtle focus. Now not everyone's going to do this add-on, only if you're a little bit more flexible, okay? But if you are, you can let go of that right leg and then you straighten it, or you straighten it a little bit more. We're going to take the right arm on the inside of the right leg, and you push the arm into the leg and the leg into the arm, and then relax. Try again, little push, relax. And then maybe you support that leg, maybe you go back to the first or easier position, or maybe you hold on to your big toe and you come into this position. And what I want you to feel is that it's a pleasant sensation, doesn't feel stretchy. Passive stretching is very limited in what it can do for you over the long term. The way that we work is to create strength as well as flexibility, and the flexibility tends to last longer. Relax, hug the thigh, pop the right foot down, left leg straight, 10 centimeters off the floor, slowly bring the left leg up. We're doing circles. If I forgot to tell you what direction we were going last time, we are now going anti-clockwise. Try and keep tension out of the neck and the throat when you're doing these exercises. And happy baby, so we can do a very simple version. It looks like that, and just stay there. Otherwise, hug the right thigh to the side ribs. Maybe you're going to hold on to your calf or ankle or the outside of the left foot, and resistance is really useful. You feel like you're bringing your thigh down. Bicep muscle firm, push the elbow forward to the armpit, strong. Give it 100%, not effort. It's focus. Think Mr. Miyagi, focus. Let go of that focus by 98%. But that 2%, it needs to be meaningful, subtle, but powerful. Stay there if you are not so flexible. I don't want you overdoing it. Otherwise, you can straighten your left leg, left arm on the inside. So push, relax. Again, push, relax. Now you could support your leg. You go back to the easier one, or you do something like this. This should be feeling zen and relax. Pop pop your feet down. Alright, we're going to finish off with bridge pose. Sthita Bandhasana. So have your feet about hip width apart, toes neutral, lift the pubic bone, bring the chin in. Take your arms there on a similar plane to your thighs. Now I'm really pressing my toes down, and when I lift the pubic bone, that's a little bit of something that might be enough. You may not have to do anything else, and you're still doing something. It's enough to keep you interested and focused. If you want to go further, keep your focus on the pubic bone, and as you breathe in, visualize, if you can, that pubic bone lifting as if towards your chin. Notice all those little sensations in and around the pelvic floor, the groin area, and you should feel the front of your hips will start to leave. It's not leave. Where are they going? To lift relatively organically. And I want you to breathe into the belly, because in this position your back muscles, glute muscles are working, which means these ab muscles have the opportunity to relax and soften, and all that tension that we collect in the navel area, in the belly, has a chance to soften and release. Pop the arms down by the side. If it's enough, stay or come out of the pose. Next variation might be strong on a stiff neck, but you can check it out if you want to. Be careful. Shimmy to one side, bring the other arm under, do the same on the other side. Join hands, shuffle the shoulders down, press the backs of the arms down. And even though your chin is massaging your throat, I just want you to imagine you're trying to lift the chin ever so slightly, 1/3 of a millimeter. Just again, creating that resistance, breathing into the belly. And drop the bottom about 1/3, release the right shoulder, release the left. Same as before, visualize your spine, all those joints. Imagine it like a set of escalator. If one step stuffs up, the whole mechanism stuffs up. We want space, we want these joints moving separately. Let's see if we can do that from the upper back to the lower back. This goes back to the gravity thing and the crunching and the grinding of the joints together. And ideally again, tailbone touches the mat before your sitting bones. When you're ready, try and bring, if you need to, one knee at a time towards your armpits, and then bring your arms in between your thighs. Push your arms into your inner thighs back into your arms. And relax, and then hold on to your shins. Bring your knees closer to the armpits if possible. Create resistance by pushing shins into palms, palms into shins, and then relax. We're going to finish the way we started, fish pose, Matsyasana. Broaden across the upper back. Press the shoulder blades down, bring the chin in, relax the belly. Expand the tummy on the inhalation. So feel as if you're lifting your belly, your chest, your collarbone, as if towards the ceiling. Front of the body expanding, middle of the spine, moving away from your mat. And then relax. Allow the back of the body to sink back down. Bring your knees together. Pop the arms down by the side. Give it a bit of a wiggle. And drop your feet to the mat. Now you can just stay exactly where you are. Otherwise, you might like to turn your palms up and gently extend into your fingers, or maybe you'd like to rest your hands on your belly. Keep your feet here or shimmy them out and let your knees drop together. Or for those of you who feel comfortable, come into Baddha Konasana. And we're going to do just a little bit of a breathing exercise before we finish off the practice. So all we're going to do for this breathing exercise, which actually let's not call it a breathing exercise, it's more of a dharana practice. Dharana is a concentration exercise, and it's a really useful way to practice meditation. It's very accessible, and dharana basically is just giving ourselves something to do rather than focusing on not thinking, which is really challenging. So let's just focus, if we can, on the left nostril. Visualize, if possible, the breath moving in through the left nostril as slowly as possible. Doesn't have to be the breath, could be the idea of the breath. And then once you have inhaled completely, pause for a few seconds and then follow your breath as if out through the right, or your idea of the breath. And then you can pause again and start the cycle again. So we're basically going in through the left, out through the right, but there are 4 aspects to the breath, 4 parts of the breath: an inhalation, then space, exhalation, and space. Without that space, nothing else happens. Doesn't matter what it is. Now the next time you visualize your exhalation, or your idea of your exhalation, moving out through your right nostril, just relax, just let go of any sense of controlling the breathing now. Just allow your body to soften. You can adjust your position if you like for complete rest. So you can come into Shavasana, or you can, adjust, put your legs up a chair, or whatever you need to do to be comfortable for the next few minutes. But let's continue with that idea of Dharana, because some people will describe Shavasana, corpse pose, as being one of the hardest yoga poses. And it's because as soon as we stop moving, the thoughts, the brain blah, 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 starts to happen. So let's keep our focus on this physical body, or at least as close to within the parameters of the physical body as we can, the space that we're inhabiting, the air in the room, how our senses are interpreting the information. But let's not buy into that interpretation. Let's just be aware of how our senses interpret that information. Let's also focus on staying soft in the body. Maybe becoming a little bit more aware of how some of those random thoughts or memories that fly in can create tension in the body, and the thought has gone long before we've grabbed a hold of it. All these things are locked within our physical body. And in yoga philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, we call them samskaras, which sounds like scar and is essentially a scar, really. A way of being, a way of reacting based on something that maybe we don't even remember. If you'd like to extend your relaxation time, I would suggest that maybe you mute or switch off the recording now. I'm going to take you through the last part of the practice. So let's just start by becoming aware of the lowest part of the belly, so the pelvic floor, pubic abdomen, so right at the base of the spine. Just visualize this whole area. If there's an emotional aspect to that particular part of your body, just go with the first thing that comes into your mind. You can go back and analyze this later. But just feel as if you're taking a little sip of air into that particular part of your body. Feel the lower belly expand, sense it becoming warm, feeling spacious and nourished. And then follow your breath into the main part of the belly, so sometimes known as the power center, so the area around the navel. Just imagine or feel, if you can, the navel lifting and moving away from the spine, and visualize the whole of the digestive area, the digestive system, and particularly the nerves that surround that area, sometimes known as the feeling brain, the enteric nervous system. So this entire part of our body is governed by the relaxation response, which is why we say rest and digest. We're not just digesting food, we're digesting and processing thoughts, feelings, and life experiences. We carry a lot of our tension and our trauma in this part of our being. So just see if you can sense this whole area becoming a little bit warmer, feeling expansive, feeling nourished, and importantly feeling free. And then follow your breath into the chest. Just feel the ribs lifting slightly out of the waist. And this time visualize your heart, visualize your lungs and the whole of your circulatory system, which is essentially like a roadmap around your body. And we don't want this road to be congested with traffic. We don't want little blockages to happen. We want everything to move freely. So just visualize, if you can, your heart, your lungs and your circulatory system working together to move the blood, the energy and the information freely around the body in order to bring oxygen and nutrients into the cells. Allow the throat to relax. If there's tension there, let it soften, and follow your breath through the throat to the crown of the head, just pausing to observe for a moment sensation at the crown of your head. Now when you're ready to exhale, just see if you can follow that, not just as a feeling of release and softness in your muscles and your bones, but also with that sense that everything is in its place. There's no struggle, there's just acceptance and allowing. Let's see if we can follow that thought along with that idea down the back of the head, the neck, the upper back and across the shoulders, the middle back, the lower back, across the top of the pelvis, the buttocks, the tailbone, and then down through each of the legs, the heels, and out through the tips of each of the toes. And in your own time, you can give your fingers and your toes a little bit of a wiggle. You can squeeze your eyes, your eyelids together. You can bring your arms up above your head and give your whole body one last big stretch between your fingers and your toes. And in your own time, you can either bring up your left knee and roll yourself gently to the right side, or maybe both knees is better. Give yourself a little bit of a rock and then roll yourself gently to the right side. And stay there for as long as you need to. And I hope you enjoyed the practice. Namaste, everybody. Have a brilliant weekend and a great start.